everybody, Cole aka Transparent Indigo here. Good to see everybody. Okay, I guess I can't see you, but it's good to be here. So today I wanted to just talk a little bit again about spirituality and the connection with being a member of the LGBTQ community. I also want to give thanks to my friend. Go check her out on Instagram. She's amazing. She's an astrologer, a channeler, and a personal coach. BP Online, go check her out. She's awesome. Thanks, BP. Thank you for bringing this up. Thank you for reminding me that this is a very important subject and topic because it's been such a huge help for me. So the importance is that I share it because I would love for it to help somebody else. There was a time when I was coming out of the so-called closet as a transgender person, and in the midst of coming out, I didn't really know what to say because I didn't know I was transgender. I didn't know there was a word for it. I knew that I felt like I should have been a boy, but I wasn't biologically a boy. I was about 19 years old at the time when I was coming out, and by 20 years old I learned what the word transgender meant, and then that's when I realized, hey, I'm transgender. At the same time though, I chose not to take any hormone replacement therapy, and that was a huge decision because I mean that's what I was told to do. By the doctor I was seeing, I was told that I needed to have transition therapy, and I mean it makes sense, right? You're transgender, you have transitional therapy, but something was telling me in my gut intuition not to do that, and I wasn't exactly sure why. So I went with my gut, and the good thing is I thought, okay, this whole therapy thing sounds amazing. I would love to wake up a year from now with a beard on my face. This is awesome, but something's telling me not to do it, and it wasn't just the obvious reason for me. The biggest obvious reason that I told the doctor why I didn't want to do it was because I was a professional and am a professional singer. I've been singing and songwriting since I was 12, officially 16 years old is when I started really becoming serious about it. And his response was, well, you know, who's to say you can't sing with a male voice? And I mean, it's very optimistic, and I could have. Who knows? Who knows? That's the thing though. Who knows? I was afraid to risk that because singing was the one thing that made me happy. So, you know, flash forward like 10, 15 years. This was 2004 when I had spoke with him. Years later, I realized that I felt the exact same way. Even though it was extremely difficult, and it has been difficult, excuse me, to live life as a transgender person fluidly, like, you know, with basically with no specific gender, because I can wear men's clothing all day and then people will still call me ma'am. You know, it was just like one of the biggest challenges I've ever faced that has lasted for years. But I knew that there was a reason why I was doing what I was doing. I just wasn't sure what it was. I finally figured it out around 2012, a very well-known time for most of us out there to wake up spiritually. I realized that I was very sensitive and am very sensitive to synthetic chemicals. I've been rushed to a hospital in an ambulance from antibiotics. I had to have heart work done, almost pumping out of my chest, just from taking antibiotics from being sick. So I don't take antibiotics anymore as much as I can help it. And I have chronic pain from a car accident. I don't take opiates. I did, and they almost killed me. You know, it's like I try to keep as many synthetic chemicals out of my life as I can. I eat plant-based food, fruits and vegetables and stuff like that, quinoa. So I do my best. And I'm sorry about all the loud noise. I really wanted to be out here today, but it's loud between the highway and the cars driving by and everything. People looking at me talking in my phone. I don't even care. Okay, I kind of care. Do I look weird? I don't know. I always look weird. Anyway, so I try to keep all these chemicals out of my life. Well, taking testosterone or estrogen, taking a testosterone shot, that's a synthetic chemical. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. It just doesn't work for me. I'm highly sensitive to it. I come to find out later, and it made sense looking back on my life, I'm a self-proclaimed indigo child. I am extremely sensitive to everything, and there's clairvoyancy going on. And the more that I tap into that, the stronger it becomes. I've only been a vegan for about a year and a half and a vegetarian for 2.5 years. So a lot of things have expanded in my awareness. My consciousness has expanded since not eating meat anymore, and then getting rid of all dairy. It really does wonders when you are on your spiritual journey, as far as what you're able to take in, what you're able to download, so to say. And the spiritual journey became way more interesting to me than anything else in the world. And I'd been, actually, to be honest with you, since I found out I was transgender in 2004, I was obsessed with that. I kept talking about it. The issue was, it was 2004, and I was in the Midwest, and I was hanging out with nothing but heterosexual people. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a bad thing to be transgender or queer and hang out with heterosexual cisgender people. The issue for me is I kept trying to be them. I just wanted to be one of them. I just wanted to be a guy that was heterosexual and left alone about it. I didn't really want to continue on as transgender. I kept trying to be something that I technically am not, because transition or no transition, I'm not a cisgendered male. I was biologically born a female, and that's been my experience, but I identify as male. My soul is male. But that's the thing. You want to dig real deep, our souls don't really have gender, and if they did, they'd be both combined. That's the thing. When you go on the spiritual path, everything kind of changes. It's when you start ascending 3D and you start coming in and out of 4D, and you start to see the world in a much different way. And I realized that I was so obsessed with being a male, when really it's like, live your life how you want. You want to wear men's clothing, wear men's clothing. You want to feel like a male, then declare yourself a male. And whether there's always going to be people that hate, there's always going to be people that love. That's where you have to let all the comments and everyone else's opinions go out the door. And that's probably a huge lesson for me in my life, because that's something that I've had to do to survive mentally, emotionally, physically, is to let go of a lot of the hate that comes along with being openly queer. Pardon, it's a little cold out here. The spiritual awakening and that whole process has helped me greatly with being transgender, with being queer, because it's helped me to realize that we are souls having a human experience. When I'm just looking at myself as a human and that's it, then it becomes very difficult to exist as a trans person. I found myself constantly feeling like I was in the wrong life. When I woke up spiritually, I realized I'm not in the wrong life. And a big thing is, and you can find this under the teachings of Dolores Cannon, is that, and I personally believe that you incarnate into a life, but you make up a contract before you come in. And I believe in reincarnation. So in that belief system, a person would sit with their guardians, their angels, source energy, before they come in, and decide what kind of goals do they want to accomplish, what kind of body are they going to be in. So you know what that would tell me? That would tell me that I chose this. That would tell me that I chose to be transgender. And it's funny, because I went to a psychic in North Hollywood about 3-4 years ago. Shoot, what am I saying? It's been like 5 years ago now. Gosh. And she got real serious with me, and she looked at me and was like, "Don't you get mad, because you chose this." And I was like, "What? What do you mean I chose this?" I didn't get it yet. I hadn't fully gone through a spiritual awakening yet. I hadn't discovered Dolores Cannon. I hadn't discovered all these teachings that resonate with me. This is what I believe. This is what I resonate with. And yeah, so I definitely feel that I chose this life, and it is challenging, and I'm able to work through a lot of karma. I'm able to learn a lot about myself as a soul through a human body. That is what is so beautiful and amazing about the correlation between a spiritual awakening and being LGBTQ. This is not just transgender people. everybody in the queer umbrella, is what we're talking about today, is a part of this, you know, because on Earth we identify so much to our human body, to, you know, what that role, what that actor's playing. You know, I am a gay man from Tennessee. Yes, you are, but you're so much more than that too. You're an infinite soul having a temporary human experience. It made it easier to deal with this human experience because being queer is not the easiest path. It'd be a heck of a lot easier if there wasn't so much hate that comes from outside sources. It's a big reason I'm talking about it, is because people, we're all programmed when we're first here, right? We're all programmed. Our subconscious mind gets fed with all sorts of beliefs. We soak it up like a sponge. So it can be extremely difficult to, oh, that was a bird. It can be extremely difficult to exist in a world where people are saying, you're wrong, you can't be this, that's a sin, no, blah, 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 you can't do that. You have to rise above that and be yourself. I spent 19 years, a little less than that, because I didn't know that I was queer at 1, 2, 3 years old, but by 4 or 5 years old, the signs were a-coming. I just didn't know what it meant. So I've spent most of my life in this so-called closet, and I'm gonna tell you right now, being something that you're not to please other people is one of the most destructive things that you can do for yourself, especially when years and years and years and years go by. You start to hate yourself, and that's been a big theme in my life, is having to overcome that. And there was a large power in coming out and declaring who I was and figuring that out along the way. And I'm really thankful that the spiritual awakening showed up in 2012, because it made it all a lot easier. So I'm just wondering, is anyone else out there going through a spiritual awakening in any way, shape, or form? Could be the beginning of it, could be, you know, that's another thing you'll learn, is that the time is a man-made construct and illusion, that there is only the now. So is it the beginning? Is it the middle? Is it the end? Who knows? But is anybody else going through a spiritual awakening who also happens to be LGBTQ? Please feel free to let me know. Please put it in the comments below, and let me know what you're going through. Please share if you feel so inclined to share. Feel free. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, thank you so much for visiting the channel. My apologies for not making videos in a while. I'll let you know right now, if you made it this far into the video, that I am currently working toward finishing my book. Now, if you've watched any of my stuff in the past, you'd say, oh my gosh, you've been working on this book for like 5,000 years. Yes, I have. And I've had to completely go back to the drawing board and rewrite the book. And that might sound terrible, but in all reality, it's been great, because when I first went to write the book, I was writing more of an autobiography, and I didn't mean to do that. I meant to write a memoir, and I also, when I started writing, didn't realize this correlation of spirituality and being queer. When I first started writing and making videos, I wasn't as deep into the spiritual awakening, and I was still figuring a lot of stuff out. So the book just had to be rewritten. So now I'm back into it. I'm writing what I'm praying is the final version that I give to an editor. So I'll keep you posted. I'm working hard. It's my main job right now. So 2020, there'll be something happening. You know, I can't say it will. I would like to say it will be released in 2020, but you know, you never know if somebody keeps handing it back to me and tells me to rewrite it again. But I'm going to set the intention that it's going to be out at least by the end of 2020. Much love and light to everyone out there. And don't forget, the spiritual journey has a lot of darkness along the path, but that's what grounding and meditation are for. When I find myself saying love and light, I do wish you love and light, but I also want you to know along this path, there's going to be bumps along the way, and that's what your friends and family are there for. If you don't have the friends and family, I'm telling you, you can really find a great support system online. Let's all just, you know, let's come out of our closet here. It's a second coming out of the closet. You had the coming out of the closet for being queer, now you got the coming out of the closet for being spiritual. Well, much love and light. All right, I'll see you all next time. Peace.